What's good, y'all? It's the Demouchet REACT, and we're back with another video. Who we got today, C?
Today we're back with another American reaction. So excited about this video. If you're new to us
And we're new to you,
make sure you scroll down,
hit that subscribe button,
and turn on the post notification bell
because we're on the road to 200K.
And we cannot get there without you guys, alright? Join the family. Without further ado, let's get into the video.
Let's get it.
What is this spot? Is this like, what political statement are they making right now? I love the like uber racist. Would you eat here? Excuse me. Would you? What does this mean? Oh, don't get hit. She's freaked out too. Yeah, I like what? Like, explain how this is not. Are there any black people in there? If there's any black person in there, they really need to pay attention. They must not know. This feels like, I just feel like I've been profiled or something. Excuse me, sir. Excuse me. Excuse me. Ladies. Madam. Madam. Bonjour.
Somebody thought it was a good idea.
Hey, homie. Parlez-vous English?
Hey, homie.
Come on, man. What is this? What is that? The fuck? Not one, but two niggas in Paris. Ho ho ho! The irony. Do you like that song?
Not Jay-Z.
Yes, very.
Yeah, very much. Are you okay when all your white friends are like, oh, please, niggas in Paris?
No.
Do they say niggas in Paris or niggas in Paris?
Niggas in Paris.
Ah, right. America leading the way again. That's 3 for America. Do you think that France deals with racism? Do you think that there is racism here?
No.
Okay. You're only racist against ugly people who can't dress.
Yeah.
And then who wants to deal with them anyway? What is your experience growing up as a person of African descent in France?
I was born here, so I'm not like I'm not feeling like I'm really African. I'm going in holidays over there. I'm not staying more than 2 or 3 months. So for me, I'm more French than African.
So you identify as a Frenchman?
Yeah, to me, yes, because I know when I'm in France, a lot of people, because of my skin color, they think I'm like African style. But when I'm in Africa, they took me like a French guy. So.
Really?
I'm between the two.
In France, we don't really.
Nah, because in Africa, they will go off of how you talk, and they know based off how you sound, they can tell you location. Like us, if we don't say a word, they go think to the core. Oh, we are South African to the T. But
because we're in South Africa, y'all.
Yeah, 100%. He said it's off a feeling. He said because he don't feel like they treat him that way, so he don't identify as it.
Right. I mean, it sounds like he is a person who was born in France, so he's a Frenchman, right?
But like he visits, so when he visits there, they treat him like a Frenchman. But he said here they look at him as if he's African, but he don't feel African.
Right. It's like us just being American.
Yeah,
we come with our history, our culture, our life experience.
But you can't alter who you are off of feeling.
Right, definitely.
You get me?
Definitely. I understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
But it's like us being American. I don't know if his family, like if he has parents who are recent immigrants or not, and he was the only one born there. But I'm saying like us before the United States was the United States of America.
Right.
Our people were there.
Right.
In Louisiana. So
that's education
we're
too,
American.
though. That's education with that, though. Understand, like the more you know, the more you grow. That's your phase right now.
Yeah, that's before the Louisiana Purchase is what I'm referencing. So, we're American. You know what I'm saying?
Nah, I get what you're saying. Yeah.
For ourselves, it's like black or white. That's kind of considered racist.
Yeah, but
one more time
in
from the
Africa,
top.
they took me like a French guy, so
really?
I'm between the two.
In France, we don't really label ourselves as like black or white. That's kind of considered racist.
Wait, but you sound like you're British. How are you saying that?
French and British and Jamaican.
So what you're basically saying is, I'm black.
It's very strange because I grew up in a white family, so I don't really see myself as black. Well, I don't really label myself as black at all. Like, that's not something I would say when I talk about
You talk white, so I mean, that makes sense. You
talk
got
white.
that good hair.
That good hair. Yo, like a Puerto Rican.
For my natural-haired sisters, it's a joke, because there's no such thing as good hair. I was raised by my mama right.
Okay.
But it isn't.
Okay.
I hear you,
Puerto
brother.
Rican with this hair?
I was gonna say so far it sounds like for everybody choice.
Okay.
It sounds like a choice for them because they don't want to be identified as their skin. But yeah, the brother just said that people look at him as if he's black. But then the other two sisters just now say we don't look at skin color. So that's a conversation they need to have among themselves. But right now everybody just look like they're going off a choice.
Or just general societal thoughts on this topic. Like, I know United States, we're one of the only places, I don't know everybody else, but we can't just put American on our applications, our driver's license, all of these things.
Right? They're going to say
we
fraud.
We have to put what type of American,
We're
black,
going to say
white.
we scamming if we walk in there saying American this and that. When they have black, African,
what kind
American.
of American?
Right, and then it goes down to Caribbeans, then it go down to, all the way down to other.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, we have to type what type of American. So in France and in other countries who are watching this video, do y'all have to do that? Like, what type y'all are?
Because imagine if we put something other than black African American on our application, and then they go to file our information so we can get our checks from them. And then I'm talking about at a job. I'm talking about at a job, right? And then we go put our information, and then they take it and they put it in, you know, government and whatnot, and they look at it and say, okay, we need to identify you for what we label you as until we get more proof about who you are, not just of what you want it to be. We don't get that choice,
right?
Unless we got proof.
But I do understand, like, you know, certain funds and things to help certain communities. That, right? I understand that, but everything else, we've always had to do it.
Yeah.
What type?
Yep.
Which race?
Nice, soft, and wavy, and you could be in a video. As a black American in Paris, how do you think that relates?
I wouldn't consider myself African American. I think my identity it's very different. I grew up in Nigeria. I was there till I was 18, so it's home. I'm still African, but an African that has experienced many different cultures, so I'm a little bit different from the typical.
France can be a little bit discriminatory towards people of African descent. Have you noticed that since being here?
Not really, no. I think I've noticed it more in the States than I have here so far.
You don't see it in the States.
No, I think people have been friendly and open. I mean, it's tough, right? Because you don't look like them, and so I think people aren't necessarily as quick to not accept you, but quick to open up to you. People tend to hang out with people that share their experiences. So in a way, I can kind of understand that it's harder to make friends.
I mean,
again, that sounds like choice. You grew up in Nigeria since you were 18. Bro,
Until 18.
You from Nigeria. That's your TNA, but she don't say that. She says, I have many other cultures under my belt, so I don't identify with where I'm from. I identify with experiences.
Right. Okay, so So obviously this clip was cut because it sounds like there was a conversation beforehand for her for him to even say her being a black American, right? Because it sounds like she's a Nigerian.
Yeah, she said
I don't know.
Was.
Well, she said she grew up in Nigeria until she was 18. So I don't know why he called her that. Is what I'm saying. Like the conversation was clear.
I don't know. I think this is a good question to ask. How do you identify where you're from? Because if you grew up in a spot since you were a certain age, all your people, friends, family is there, then you more likely to say, this is where I was born and raised.
Right.
But then some people will uproot, go to another location and say, this is where I was, this is where I'm from now.
Right.
Not born and raised, but this is where I'm from. And then they identify with this side more. I don't know.
I don't know.
How y'all guys go about with that?
Yeah, that's a question y'all going to have to tell us because... Yeah.
Well, people see themselves as like really open-minded people, when in reality we do have a lot of issues that we're not really facing, and the problem is that we just try to avoid the real problems.
So it's sort of like, oh, I have black friends. Oh yeah, I have black friends. I love black people, and then you realize you only have one black friend. What is it like to be a young black man in France? Have you ever experienced racism here?
Yes, when I was little, at school, they say they make a racism joke, but now people have more respect about me, and I think that it changed because they had more black people in French, and we are stronger.
Yeah. It's way better to be black. It's way cooler. I would have to agree.
But I think it's kind of the same in the States, where I feel that black people from Africa find it a little bit easier to assimilate to in the general community than African Americans do. Well, I think people are more accepting.
Huh?
In America, people tend to.
Wait, how is that even what?
I don't know. It when I heard her say that, it makes me think of when our African supporters were telling us that when a lot of them, when they came to the States, they were told to stay away from the black people here, the black Americans, right? I feel like it comes from that thinking, because that's like us being in South Africa right now, visiting South Africa, and being in interaction with all of the people groups. We have been in
Everybody.
The Rainbow Nation.
Every single person.
Right? And us saying, oh, it's not that bad. All that stuff that y'all be talking about, it's not that bad. The people treated us so well. How dare we say that? When there are historic issues that they have dealt with, that they still deal with to some extent, right? I've never felt othered.
But
I'm American.
yeah, but that's the truth though. We haven't been treated bad.
Here.
Right.
I'm talking about in the United States. I've never felt othered. I'm American. I'm an African American. Where we're from, we have our own a regional culture. Like our state was we had cultures before the United States purchased the Louisiana Purchase, right? So I've never felt othered. We all have our own experiences, our own cultures. We have a language that was stolen from us, beat out of us. Our grandparents, it was beat out of them. So I've never felt othered, like to assimilate, like we are a black American experience.
So do you think that because they come from a different, like how you was mentioning, they will come here and then they will be told to not associate with, the black folk. Do you think that's why they can, get into the general population a lot easier? Then that's what she was basically saying.
Right, and what is easy?
That's what I'm trying to understand. That part kind of took me love, because if we're grown here and we understand the systematic, we understand the people, we understand the different groups, like we can still function like no other, regardless of rejection.
That's like saying...
But that shouldn't stop us from being out with the population.
Right.
Like any other person will come here and try to experience it.
That's like saying that there is a right way to be an American.
Oh, wow. That is deep.
That's what it sounds deep. Like to me.
Yeah, that's deep.
My black American experience, my grandparents' black American experience, my parents, my cousins, that is a true experience. What is assimilation? If my people have always been here since the first 20 who came.
Yeah.
That's our experience.
I think we could stop right there. That's the only nail.
Brush everything under the carpet.
It has to be in a category.
Okay, so everything is a lot more PC. So I think over here people are just a lot more open. So I don't know if Americans are more race obsessed. I just think that people in Paris are, but that's probably because they're a lot more open about talking about those things.
Oh, I am over this racist bullshit. You think this is funny?
Yo.
You think you can just play around and sing?
Talking to a wall?
Yapla boom. I got some yapla boom for you.
What that mean, y'all?
Those big old coon lips.
Oh, no.
Nappy hair. Obvious racist. Obvious. Just obviously either that or he's a Japanese kid that's really trying to assimilate into black culture. If that's the case, I like this style. I mean, with the bow tie and everything, that's sick. But if not, that shit is fucked up. That shit is racist. What's your feeling on how France deals with African immigrants?
Because in France, people are racist, I think. Yeah, a lot of people is racist.
You heard it here from a real French white man.
But that's my point of view.
Why do you think that?
Yeah, I like black people.
He said, but not me.
I got some black friends.
He said, not me.
The situation of the world is very hard in this moment, so for me it's natural that that kind of things is happen.
Exactly, and if you didn't have illegal immigrants, who would sell you cheap crap? You know, nobody. You know,
you can see the black guys that are trying to sell some souvenirs.
Yeah, I got them a fake Louis purse.
They are illegal immigrants, but they are in risk of their lives because the police is always hunting them, always.
Why are people so averse to people moving from other countries here?
I think...
Before he answers that question, I have never been to France, so I can't really speak to what he said, but just looking at a person, how do you know if they're an immigrant or not? What if they lost their job and that's all they have? You know, like, how do y'all identify? I don't know. Just asking.
That's the good question. Like, the minds of the people want to know. And I feel like with this video, I think we asked great questions. Yeah. Because it's just the understanding part, not to label anybody wrong, it's just helping us and others understand what it is and what it ain't. Yeah.
France, our country has a problem with it. Is history how do you call this? The colonization.
Call it like it
and
is.
It's something that we have a lot of problem to assume it. So it's a work in progress in France to accept that we did some kind of wrong things in other countries, and so we received some help from our former colonies, and then we call for them to help rebuilding the country. We haven't been very fair with them because we put them into kind of faraway suburbs.
Like Moroccans, a lot of the Moroccans.
For instance. Yeah. And today there is kind of a huge problem between these immigration people that has been treated very bad and don't feel accepted in our country.
Although we like
and I think he made a great point, because when you have allies, the doors are open because you're helping each other. So it's only right to love on those people, as you know, because you're vacationing there, you're traveling there, and people doing the same, vice versa. So it's like, hey, you know, open arms. Let's continuously help each other grow. We're seeing the development. Let's not be stingy with it. Right. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
South is like a really open-minded country. There are still issues that we're not facing, and we are quite the opposite. We are
around the 10 out and we ain't gonna act like they ain't cold out there, yo. He's tucked in right now.
And don't feel accepted in our country.
Although we like to think of ourselves as like a really open-minded country, there are still issues that we're not facing, and we are quite the opposite. We are all about our history, and we're kind of like stuck in the past, because it is a bit of a postcard destination when you come to Paris. You know, you're expecting a certain, you know, and we live with that image, and we're kind of like afraid of like moving forward because our history is so important and it is so beautiful and whatever, that we're kind of afraid of moving on and doing like trying new things and opening our eyes to like other cultures and other things, because we want to preserve what is seen as like the beauty of France. So that's why immigrants find it hard to like fit in, because they would probably have a lot to bring to the table, but we're not really allowing any of it to, you know, kind of get in the way of the postcard.
Bro, hey, you know, that makes clear sense to me, because imagine, right, Louisiana, we jig our tails off. That ain't going nowhere. But imagine somebody comes into the States and try to say that the jigging is, you know, it's not irrelevant. People need to stop and let's introduce this new dance. Yeah. We gonna hold on to the past. Yeah. We ain't about to let that go. You know what I'm saying?
We gonna jig in front of your house.
But to kind of tweak the conversation into involving themselves into the immigrants more and accepting them more and growing with them more, when people introduce something different to us, we would just involve it. We'll be involved. We're going to involve it. You know, we'll bring it to the cookout.
Exactly.
Do your little water too. But it's still going to be a rotation of what it is.
Yeah. This conversation is just so interesting to hear. I do know that he had like a comedic flair that he was adding on to it, but I feel like it's important, especially for people like us, where our home state was once a French colony. True. You know, and a lot of the French culture has been left behind and evolved into what we have now with our Creole and our Cajun culture. So it's interesting to hear what they have to say, because what if we wanted to go there? And I do have someone in my family tree who came directly from France, right? Who was enslaved in France and then came here. So I do want to trace back those steps and go see those things. But like, if they're speaking in front of the Eiffel Tower saying this, what about all of the little small towns? How would we be accepted as just a tourist?
Yep.
I do know it's 2025.
Or is it the same way as other locations? You only know where we're from when we speak.
Right.
And then we just naturally blend in.
Right. And I feel like this is a hard topic for some people to listen to.
Oh, yeah, 100%. But it needs to be heard and received. Whatever comes out after, like however you cook it up in your spirit, that's how it comes out. Sometimes you got to keep putting more recipes in. But that's what it is. You got to keep cooking it up until you can get something that tastes good when you talk about it, and not be so bitter and so ugly towards other people because you don't want the conversation. It's not an argument. It's just a conversation.
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
Any solution for it? Like what is a way to fix this?
Just one, education and try to be, I don't know exactly the word in English, but tienes que tener amor. You have to keep love in your heart, and the government has to think different. But it's up.
Yeah. Who knows? There is no perfect answer.
Hey, but he killed it though. He did. That was a good one.
Like, oh my God, you're in Paris. Niggas in Paris. How does that sit with you?
I mean,
that happened to me recently.
It happens to me all the time. Trust me.
Where does that come from?
Somebody
Like,
told him
I mean, a black man did make that title. He chose it, and I love the song until like you get your Facebook account hit by like some crazy white chick going, "Niggas in Paris."
Does it make it any better if it's a black person that says it?
I don't know. See, that's a very interesting thing because I love it. I love to, I grew up in a home where my grandmother, who, had a real job, and worked around white people all the time, would call us nigglets. It comes from our history. It's in our background. It's not like my grandmother hating us. She hated us more just because we were loud.
Well, you gotta tell her this though, because she don't know. Whoa. That's a crazy painting.
He ain't saying nothing about that one though.
Let's see. It sounds like whenever she compared the two that it's okay if one said, why not let the other say it? So, I mean, because she does take herself and place herself in the experience bracket where we can all come together through experiences.
Right.
But history kind of, draws lines where people need to see things in a certain way.
Well, I am one of those people. Don't call me that word.
Nah.
Don't. And I remember we had a conversation. I believe it was on one of like our Caribbean videos, and I know a lot of our Caribbean supporters were saying that word don't mean anything to them. Like they don't feel no type of way. What?
But they have a word.
They do have a word.
They don't want to be called.
Right.
Same in South Africa. Yeah. When the youngins had it written on their shirt, their moms would tell them, "Baby, don't put that on your clothes." You didn't understand, but they stand for it in a different way. But yet it still has that offense to it. So I feel like it's in different groups.
Right. Maybe she was challenging how he feels about it.
Ooh,
like if you accept it from one group, why don't you accept it from another group?
So how would you then go about it?
Yeah.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah. En deux, trois.
No, sir.
That's supposed to be, I think this is either Michelle or Kerry Washington. Kerry Washington
is crazy. Yo, we're going to stop at that. Make sure you guys check his channel out. Let us know what y'all guys thought about this entire conversation. Again, I felt like it was open dialogue where people was giving their, input. Nothing too crazy where right is right, wrong is wrong, but I feel like everyone is just involving themselves on experiences and understanding what things was whenever it was at a certain time. Right. And how they grew with that experience,
Yeah, everybody have their own experiences and, how they were taught. So it's nice to understand.
Yeah.
All right, y'all. We hope you guys enjoyed this video with us. Be sure to subscribe. We'll see you soon.
Peace.